The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Now, after years of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place we're sowing the seeds of a better way. A way with more ease, abundance, and flow. Get ready to learn about indie authorship from a whole new perspective. We're about to cover everything from releasing your poverty mentality to manifesting your millionaire author destiny. I'm Carissa Andrews, and this is the Author Revolution Podcast. Well, hi there, and welcome back to the Author Revolution Podcast. Boy, guys, okay, so I know I say this every week, but this week we do really have someone very special that's going to be on the podcast. Now, if you've clicked on the link, if you've clicked on the listening button thing on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this podcast episode on, then you already know. But let me just tell you, having Mal and Jill Cooper on this show has been just such a treat. So this podcast episode interview is all with Jill Cooper. She is amazing. She's the other side of the duo of the Writing Wives, yes. When I first started learning more about Mal Cooper and Jill Cooper, it was originally because of Facebook and because of the 20 Books to 50K Facebook group, right? Because Mal was talking an awful lot and Jill was talking an awful lot about Facebook ads. And the next thing you know, I'm seeing Mal everywhere when it comes to Inkers Con and 20 Books to 50K and other conferences that I was interested in at the time. And so Mal just kind of became this figurehead when it comes to Facebook ads and really understanding how they work. But behind the scenes, someone who is a little bit more, I guess, incognito, it seemed to me, was Jill Cooper, Mal's wife. Now, it was interesting to find out today. We were chatting before the podcast interview started, but it was actually Jill who started Mal on the whole road to understanding Facebook ads, which was super fascinating to me. And it was so fun to bring her on to today's podcast episode, not only to talk about Facebook ads and all that she and Mal are doing, but also just to understand more about what Jill does on the side when it comes to the Writing Wives portion of their business, because Jill herself is a prolific author. She does some amazing books herself. So it's really cool to have that opportunity to chat with Jill. And one of the cool things that she and I share that are very similar is that we love talking manifestation. And now, while we didn't get into it too much into this podcast episode, you can believe we'll probably be having another one where we are talking an awful lot about manifestation and how she got into it and everything that kind of went on there, because it's a fun conversation, right, guys? I know maybe some of you are oh, not that again, but please, that's okay. It's okay. I will convert you. I promise you, you will come over to my side of thinking. Okay. So in this podcast interview, we're talking an awful lot about, like I said, Facebook ads, but also the Kickstarter campaign to help My Facebook Ads Suck. Third edition is officially launched. It's officially ongoing. And we wanted to chat a little bit about how this particular Kickstarter is different from the fiction ones that they've done in the past, but also how authors can utilize Kickstarter, what kind of fun things this particular Kickstarter has in case you're interested in joining in on the crazy fun bus of this whole Kickstarter campaign, but also just having that conversation about new ways to launch and to think about the strategy when it comes to getting things out there into the world. The landscape of launching has really shifted and changed. And so I think it's really a good idea to be re-evaluating how we're looking at things and basically how we get to launch our books, right? I hope you enjoy this podcast interview. It's a good one. Jill is a fascinating lady, and let's get into it. Well, hi there, Jill. I am so excited to have you on the podcast. This is the first time you've been on the show. We've had Mal on the show once before, so this is such a treat to bring you on. Now, before we get started, I want you to, who doesn't know of you and Mal at this point? But if they don't, if they're listening to this and it's the first time that they're learning about you, do you want to tell them a little bit about what you do and all
Sure.
of your author journey?
Yeah, I started self-publishing in 2012.
Wow.
That's over 10 years ago now. It's crazy. And
Yep.
young adult author, sci-fi author. My wife Mal was writing military sci-fi, had 2 books out by like 2015. Like it was sort of new in 2017, this Facebook ads thing like appeared. Anyone could run a Facebook ad, right? And so I started taking some classes, and then I decided that I looked at Mal's books, military sci-fi. It's very like it was easy to know who to target. When you look at it, you know what it is. So I said, my books are complicated. They're young adult. There's like combos. So I would start with Mal's books. And the first month we went from making like $50 a month to $800 a month. And
Wow.
that caught Mal's attention. Mal's like, what are you doing?
Right?
And like, how are you doing it? At that point, Mal's writing like book 3 in the series.
Yeah.
And we crafted a bunch of different ads to get ready for the release. And I don't even remember what the second month was like. I think that we started making like $5,000 that month. And by the time the box set was ready, we got a BookBub. And then we
Nice.
started I started booking promotions. We got ads ready for that. And then before you know it, we're making like $25,000 a month
Yay.
for this 99-cent box set deal that we had on BookBub. And everyone wants a BookBub. Back then, they were even like more powerful than they are now.
Right.
And then it's just, I feel like we capitalized on the momentum, and then we started studying how to do it. We started writing posts in 20 books to 50K. It was still like a pretty small group, but we post like what we did. People started
Yeah.
sort of like, asking us for advice. Then 2017, we wrote the first Help My Facebook Ads Suck, which
I
was
love
never
that
supposed to
title.
be an official title. Like that was my idea. Let's call it this. So we'd call it that around the house. And then
Yep.
at the end, you're like, well, we really like the title. Do we have to change it? So we
Yeah.
decided, no, we're not going to change it. And then, so we released that. We went to 20 books. We sold a lot of copies. And then I think it was like 2 years later, we said, well, maybe we should like run a class. Let's just do one class and see, how it goes. People like it. And people loved it. And they would always ask, like, are you going to do another class? Are you going to do another class? Are you going to do like consulting? And we're like, no, 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 we're not going to do that. No. Then slowly, well, here we are now. We're the Writing Wives, and we have 2 consultants under Mal. We help authors all the time learn how to sell more books, make more money,
Heck
doing what
yes.
they want, which is my mission, is to help as many authors as possible make a living selling their fiction.
Right.
That's what I
Right.
want to help people do.
Isn't it funny how it creeps up on you like that? I was kind of the same way where there was no intention whatsoever of building courses or anything like that. But I ended up doing I got invited to a local library event where they wanted me to teach just indie authorship in general. Next thing I know, there were people that missed those classes and they wanted like, how do I get this like information? And I just threw up a course just to be able to help them. And that's how the whole author revolution thing started. This is so
That's
weird.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But I was like just this, like your typical author would say, I just want to write books. I don't want to market. This is horrible. Like, why are people why do I need to do these things? But now I love marketing. I love talking marketing. I love coming up with marketing plans almost more than I like coming up with like fiction plots. It's like
I love
how
it.
things just change with time. But then I also get benefit. I see how much like they can change people's lives or help them figure something out and how happy they are, like the stress that they don't have anymore. So I think it's great.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, to be able to take an author from a place where they're overwhelmed or in that burnout state and then just go,
Yeah.
here's this thing and now it's working for you. And they're like, oh, thank you.
And then they start
Thank
to
you.
see the
That's
possibilities, and they start to be able to
yeah.
do it themselves once they gain a little confidence that like, yeah, this can work. And I think that's why BookBub is so good too, is because it shows an author what happens if you can put your book out in front of that many targeted people that already read your genre. And like, yeah, that's what marketing can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so speaking of marketing, we need to talk about this massive Kickstarter you guys have going on right now. You just
Yes.
launched the nonfiction Kickstarter for the 3rd edition of Help My Facebook Ads Suck. What motivated you guys to start and run a Kickstarter campaign versus just like launching the book like normal?
Well, we've already run 2 Kickstarter campaigns, and so we really view it as the way of the future for authors to launch books. And for me, it feels it's not like so much asking people for money to fund it. It's like, hey, this is how we're going to sell directly to the consumer. This is how we're going to build packages that you can't do on Amazon. You can't take a book and bundle it with like a workbook and a pen or whatever on Amazon.
Yeah.
They'd have to go find those individual things. on Kickstarter, you can make the bundles how you basically want to sell it to the audience. So we knew we were going to do that from that, when we do this Help My Facebook Ads Suck third edition, we were sometimes we just call it the help book.
Yeah.
We were going to launch it on Kickstarter because not only do we want to bundle things in with it, we want to discount our courses and make those available as well. And you get the book and you get the course at discount price. And we don't even factor in the price of the book in those packages. And also we want to have rewards so that if we hit certain marks, everybody gets free content. So they get the free webinar, which we just hit that first stretch goal. That's and now everyone's going to get a free Facebook ad creative class it will be 2 hours, which talks about picking better images that convert to clicks and sales, writing better sale copy, writing better headlines. And Mal's going to take everybody that has pledged anything on the Kickstarter through that workshop in May.
So cool. That is
I'm
so
pretty
cool.
excited about that. Yeah.
Right.
So people that maybe like, well, I can't afford a $150 webinar. Now they can get one for $8.
Right. I mean, how awesome is that?
Right? I know. No brainer.
Right. Absolutely. Well, it was definitely a no brainer for me. I was actually literally on my phone. I don't even know what I was doing, if I was reading at that point or what I was doing, but I'm reading in the morning. So it's probably my book. And the Kickstarter notification like binged across the top where it said, hey, this one's open, because obviously I was following your wait list. Like, let me know when this thing opens up. So it was like, oh, I know where I'm going right now. So that's literally what I did. I dropped everything, even my book.
It's a great way too for people to have been curious, like, well, how does Mal teach? Like, maybe I heard Mal talk at 20 Books, InkersCon or wherever.
Yeah.
Get, like, sort of a taste for it, and you don't really need to worry about your money because you get the book for $8, or sorry, $10 now, and then you get the webinar for free.
Yeah, heck yes, that is so worth it.
I'm excited about it.
No doubt. Okay, so how much has the Facebook advertising world changed then since the first edition to right now? Like what sort of things really kind of updated or changed?
Everything.
Yeah,
the book is completely rewritten. Mal kept like we kept like the headers and like the glossary. Everything else has been totally rewritten. We added the Amazon attribution links, how to set them up, why you want to use them, and if you're running Facebook ads, you need to use Amazon attribution links. Because before they came out, we just sort of guessed, but this ad is working, this newsletter campaign is working now, but now you can actually track the results. You can create a link that's different for your newsletter, one that's just for, like, say, the back matter of your book, and one for your Facebook ad. And you can see, like, oh, my Facebook ad actually is making money. Right. And so when we'd have clients, we were always just sort of guessing, because you establish like a base. It's above where you're selling above base, so it must be the Facebook ad. But now we actually know. So that's definitely important. Audience selection has totally changed with iOS changes, privacy changes, with Facebook taking different categories away. And we have ways of trying to get around those things depending what you write, what your category is, and to build like custom audiences. And also the playing field now is a lot more crowded. In 2017, there was just a handful of authors just trying it out. And now, everyone knows what a Facebook ad is. And everybody's like, I'm going to run Facebook ads to sell books. And so you have to be more savvy. And also the readers and the consumers are more savvy. They're like, that's an ad. I know that's an ad. They're going to try to trick me into buying their product, because some people do it that way. So you're going to find new ways to be honest, authentic, and sell your product. So those are all, things that we factor into running Facebook ad campaigns and that are in the book, and so much more.
That is so cool. And I love that you guys keep track of like how things are changing, because I think authors, especially when they're so focused on their stories, at least this is me speaking from experience, I get like stuck in like, this is how a Facebook ad is working. Like, this is how I'm going to do this thing. I'll create it and then walk away from it and not think about how has the ecosystem itself changed. And so knowing that you guys are keeping track of that and then can explain to us like what actually did change, so I can be like, oh, okay.
And since the second edition came out in 2019, but since then we've gotten to consulting for other authors. So now, we've all on the team have had more experience with more genres and understand how things are different for each genre. And even broader changes, like, way back in 2017, Facebook didn't like it when you had text on your image.
Hmm.
because
I
they
remember
wanted
that.
an ad to look organic. So we're
Right.
back then we were sharing pictures of our cats and our pie and our meals, and there's no text on it. But now we're all sharing, we share memes and gifs and all things that have like bold text on the bottom. So now Facebook allows us to put images with text on it, and that's basically why. So if you make your image look like a meme, Facebook's going to be pretty happy with you.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So there's like
Yeah.
all these small changes, and it's all with we don't want to disrupt the consumer's experience of using Facebook. We don't want them to be angry that they're looking at an ad. So if they can just keep scrolling and something catches their eye and they stop a little bit, that's okay. But we don't want
Right.
consumers to complain to Facebook like, oh, I keep seeing your ads. And that's
Right.
like we have to take those things into consideration.
For sure. Are you finding that like the meme type ads work best, or are you still thinking that like the action image works best? Like what have you guys been finding for most
It
of them?
depends.
Is it?
I don't spend as much time like deep in it, but Mal still tells people to
Okay.
because we do suggest and recommend people run dynamic ads, which means you
Yep.
pick, like 4 or 5 different images, text, etc. And then,
Yeah.
Facebook is better at determining the winner most cases than we are.
Yeah, they've
So,
gotten much
even if we
better.
say like, oh, don't do that sort of image, if you throw that image and other types of images in, we go with the winner, what people are responding to. And you can't really guess what people are going to respond to.
It's
It
always
really
like the
just
dorkiest
depends.
one sometimes. You're like, why are they
Yeah.
responding to that one? What? It's so
Yeah, we
weird.
still don't really, for our personal ads, we don't use a lot of book covers and stuff like that. That we find the action image with have a high contrast in colors in the image,
Yeah.
still works best at catching people's attention. And you do hear the complaint. Well, then how are people supposed to know it's a book if there's no picture of a book? But we use the text, the ad copy, to use words like read, you know, curl out by the
Kindle
fire,
Unlimited.
like yeah,
Yeah.
Kindle Unlimited, that works too.
Yeah.
But
Right.
you let the copy do the job of telling people that this isn't a movie, it's a book. And that's generally how we get away with it.
That is super cool. So for backers, is there anything I'm guessing maybe it's the Amazon attribution links, but for the backers who are looking at backing the campaign and obviously getting this third edition, what's the biggest thing that changed then that you were like, wow, this is really, I'm so glad we're putting this into this new edition that they wouldn't find
Probably
anywhere
audience.
else?
I think audience selection will probably be okay. So that's
Really?
the biggest
Okay.
question that people struggle with. Is like, they got their image, they wrote their sale copy, but then that people get tripped up with like, who do I target? Like, and that's generally where it seems, where most people just struggle or it falls apart. That and like, how do I scale? Those are like the two big things.
Oh, for sure. The scaling
That
part.
really, like I have an ad and it's making a little money, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do with it. Or a month later, like, is the ad still making me money? I'm not really sure. And
Yeah.
those are usually like the big questions while someone will be like, come to us and be like, help.
Right.
So
Right.
we update the book to include a lot of that information. And
That's so cool.
we spent a lot of time in our courses, our beginner course, people asking questions about audience because there's a lot of choices. So I understand, and people get sort of stuck or afraid of like making a mistake. So try to, fix those problems as often as we can. But with Facebook ads, you can keep in mind that you set the daily limit. So, and Facebook's generally pretty good about never, not going over that. We've gotten
Right.
like a couple cent returns back here or there when they've overspent, but it's never been anything like significant.
No, and
So I
it
think
always averages itself out a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it does. And, Mal's confident that if you have a well-packaged book, you have a well-written blurb, that you can see 2 to 3 times your daily ad spend on an ad once you find the winner. So our method has always been start at $5 a day, and then your risk while you're testing ads isn't that high.
Right. Right. I think
So
that's really
all
smart
those like
too.
techniques are in the book on how to do it, yourself. And for people that are visual learners, we do have a course for beginners that Mal walks you through like each step of the Facebook ad platform. So it can be a little less intimidating for
Right.
some
Right.
people that are just nervous. Yeah. And I'm always around to answer any questions.
Do you guys go into like retargeting ads as well in the book?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
not an expert on retargeting ads, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay.
we do, use the Facebook pixel. We also use Pinterest sometimes to put things on Pinterest and run ads
Cool.
to send them to our website. And then when they go to the website, then we snag, the Facebook pixel is there. And then we can
Yeah.
run retargeting ads to them that way on Facebook for a series that maybe they had landed on. And for that, we
Yeah.
usually just look for really vibrant images to use on Pinterest, since it's a very visual platform.
Right. Right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. So going back to this Kickstarter now, it was funded in like the first 4 hours on the first day, right?
Mhm.
Were you
It
expecting that to
was.
happen?
Yeah, I actually thought it would happen a little sooner. But yeah, it
Really?
was. But yeah, the goal was to, for Kickstarter to pick it up as a hot Kickstarter to say like, projects we love. And they actually sent us the email that it was claimed as a project we love before it fulfilled. It was like
Nice.
an hour into the Kickstarter, I got the email and I was so excited
Heck
about
yeah.
that. Obviously we knew we were going to make more than $2,000 on the Kickstarter. But at that point, $2,000, it's still a large chunk of money. That means, it's worth turning our basement into a shipping station for like 3 weeks or whatever it's going to take to get all
Yeah.
those books signed and sent out. So for people that live overseas, we're going to have the option not to have the book signed, just so we don't have to pay them shipping.
Sure.
Because shipping is crazy right now from the US to like say the UK. So if people
Yep.
don't care if it's signed or not, then we'll just drop ship it from Amazon and it will, or Ingram or whoever we're doing the paperback with.
You could always do like a little book plate, sign the book plate and
Yeah,
ship
we
it
thought
off.
we might be making offer to send people book plates if they want,
Yeah.
or a signed postcard, because we have like little things like that in the Kickstarter as well.
So cool. That is so cool. Okay, so obviously, like I said, I totally pledged. It was a no-brainer there. So how long is the Kickstarter itself running for if people listening to
Another
this want to hop
16
in?
days.
Okay, so from the
It'll
time of
end on the
recording.
23rd.
Okay, 23rd of April, just everybody know.
Yeah, 23rd of April, sorry. And then at
Yep.
that point, like Kickstarter will tell people that it's closed and it will send them a survey where they have the opportunity to add on mugs or any other item if they want to change their pledge. They
Yeah.
can. And at that point, around the 23rd, 24th is usually when they start collecting the pledge. But I think you'll have to fill out the survey first, just in case you want to add anything new to it.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the goodies that you guys are offering for pledges,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to give a few examples in your tiers? Like what do the tiers look like?
Sure. For book tiers, there's like, you can get the ebook, you can get the ebook in the print. Then there's the bundle. It's called like the help bundle. It's like you can get help, my Facebook ads suck, help, my launch plan sucks, and help, my blurb and ad copy sucks in like one bundle. I don't remember the price. Sorry.
Nice. It's
Yeah.
okay.
And then,
There's a Kickstarter page for that.
right. And after that, it's the bundles with the ebook and the courses. So if you wanted to get the beginner Facebook ad course, which is an 11 video series, it's like 147 with the book. And
Nice.
normally it's like 167. So it's like, hey, you're saving $30 while you're getting the book.
Yeah.
And then we have other things like Master the Book Launch, which is a 3-hour webinar plus course materials to help level up book launches.
Yep.
And, Facebook ad consulting at a discount. It's like $300 off right now if you get it through Kickstarter, which is a 4-hour package with Mal and her team to help you get to double or triple your ad spend. And they will also review blurbs and make sure your Amazon product page is ready for that
That's
level
so cool.
of like intense work. Because we want all our clients to be successful. It's good for us. It's good for them.
Right.
So if there's something
Yeah.
like we're like that cover is not to market, you're going to have to change it. So you have to make sure that, if you think these things aren't where they need to be, that you're prepared to hear someone say,
Yeah.
you need to have a little work you got to do, but that's okay. We all do.
Yeah. Well, and if you
And
want to
then,
level up, that's what you got to do.
That's right. And we got some swag. We got some t-shirts, like help, I'm an author books t-shirts.
I saw that. That was so cute.
And also primer word mugs and a primer word. I don't know if you've ever heard Mel talk about this term. A
Yes.
primer word is a word you put in your ad or blurb that helps get an author or a consumer ready to buy. So
Okay.
it's, words that have a positive association with them. And we also came up with words specific to genre. So,
Nice.
So we have a mug for paranormal, a mug for thrillers, a mug for sci-fi, and just a general tantalizing. So, you have your mug, or you have, and you can sit, you drink your coffee out of it. And as you're writing your copy, it's right there. So you'll see like there's different words Both of
Welcome
them
to
are
the
boulders from
subconscious, my
Rushmore.
friend.
It's like a
Yes.
cloud, dark cloud.
Yeah.
The sci-fi one is shaped like a spaceship, and I swear it's
Nice.
Firefly, but Mal says it's not. Like it looks like Firefly.
Right? Serenity it is.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. So, words like swashbuckling, like, words that you would use to sort of subconsciously indicate what genre your story is, and without saying, hey,
Yeah.
this is like, this is a pirate urban fantasy, which totally fine keyword stuff. Go ahead, do it. But in the blurb, sometimes you want to be a little more graceful. And
Right.
these lists we provide to our clients, and then now you can get them on a really cool mug.
Dang it. Now you're making me want to get the mug, Jill.
I love the paranormal, like urban fantasy mug, because it looks like
Yeah.
fire.
Right.
It's just really cool. I like
See,
it.
I was
Yeah.
looking at
No
those and I was
pictures in the
you
Kickstarter
have
if you
like
scroll through
posters
it.
too, don't you? Like little posters and some bigger posters.
Yeah,
And
so
I
I
was like,
figured, like, if you don't like you're like, I don't need one more mug.
right? I'm
You
just
could get
saying, I
like a
got
little
like all the
poster, and you
mugs.
could like buy a little stand for it, put it by your computer.
Oh, dang it. Now I'm going to have to change my pledge.
See, well, there's always that opportunity to add more later if you
That's
think
true.
I would
That's
never
true.
force anyone to change their pledge.
No. You just talked me into it. Rats.
No, because really, sometimes those words just escape us, and we
Yeah.
just need to go back and look at it, and like, where can I add a couple of these words? It's not like
Right.
get it like do the whole thing, but especially on the
Yeah.
call to action at the bottom, you want to like evoke a feeling, and it's like universal fantasies. Like the reader,
Yeah.
you want them to like trigger basically an emotional response to you and your character, your story. So they're like, oh my God, I have to read this book. Like,
Right.
I don't
Right.
even need to read any more about it. I know I need it now.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's what
it's
you want
harder
to really
to put your finger on those like universal fantasies, like Theodora Taylor talks about. I mean, she has like the whole like book for romance. That's great. But for urban fantasy or paranormal, it's like, what are those?
Yeah,
So
like
that's
romance, it
awesome.
makes sense. Like I get it.
Mhm.
But when it's like, well, what
Yeah.
the sci-fi book? Where I'm really into ghost stories with tragic endings. Like, what is my universal fantasy? Someone
Right.
help me unpack this.
Right. You like tragedies.
I do. I love tragedies. And Mal's always like, why? I'm like, I don't know. It just does something. It makes me happy.
Tragedies
like,
make me happy. There is something to unpack there. Like what?
I think I've discovered that I like the story where like no one knows the secret, but yet now I'm going to discover it. I think that's like
Sure.
part of that. Like I'm special. I get
Yeah.
to know something
Yeah.
no one else knows, or anyone else has watched this movie. Yeah, I don't know. I think that might be part of it. That and cool historic mansions, apparently. I like them.
Right. Same.
Yeah.
Same. Secret Legacy,
Same.
which has secret in the title, huh? And then that
Oh,
like
there
old
you
mansion.
go.
Yeah, I'm the same. I love the concept of
Yeah, and
secrets
that's
being
also how you
unveiled.
want to think about your titles. You want to see if you can put these primer words in the title,
So
so when people
smart.
hear the title, they immediately know what it is.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's the worst situation ever, but you don't want to like make your title sound like it's a different genre than it actually is, because then
Mhm.
it might be a little harder to find your audience or warm them up. And that's something more we talk, I guess, in our genre and trope workshops. But
That's
it
so
does
cool.
tie into Facebook ads, because you want to make it as simple as possible to sell your book.
Absolutely. And it like you said, it primes the reader to know exactly what they're looking at when they're clicking on the link to go to the book page. So they're not like, what is this theme? And I've had times where I've had Facebook ads where they're clicking on it and it's talking about like, when I turned 42, I got bit by a werewolf, like, right. And I've had comments where they're like, happy birthday. Like, what? Are you even reading that copy? Like,
oh my goodness.
Obviously
happy
I have
birthday.
some work to so obviously I have some work to do with this Facebook ad. What are you talking about?
There's always these unintentional consequences.
Right?
No, we did not mean for that to happen.
No, that was not what I was going for with that ad. Okay, so I hear you have some tricks up your sleeves. We're coming up, by the time this podcast episode airs, we're coming up on the midway point of your launch.
Yes,
so you have some midpoint renewed interest pieces that you've got going on. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, up to now we've just used, the launch to get us, the first 6 days, and that's been great. I cross-promoted with a few authors, a few nonfiction authors I reached out to, and that's great. But now we're heading into the mid slump, and that's just how Kickstarters work, right? People like the beginning and the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to have some tiers that we've been holding back that we're going to announce them through the sluggish period. And that just that gives us something else to talk about. Is another reason to send in updates, another reason to send a newsletter or ask someone like, hey, can you mention this on your wall? And hopefully those, little things will get some little spikes in there. And then also now I'm working to come on your podcast to see if I
Yeah.
can post in some of the writer groups that are on Facebook, some author groups that we're all part of, just in case someone hasn't heard of it yet. Try to keep just spreading the word
How could that
and
be?
have
Come on, Jill.
and have I don't know and have more free webinars unlocked as we reach.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll reach the $20,000 level, and everyone will unlock a new thing. We'll plan out more. I don't know if we'll get there, but if we do, then everyone just keeps getting free content. We're going to spin up a new course that people can buy through the Kickstarter. It will be exclusive, the only place to get it for now, probably for like the next 6 months or so. And Mal and I just keep having these conversations, like what else can we give people? They're ready to start selling more books, start advertising, want to level up their careers. What kind of advice can we give? And we're actually launching a new service. It's called the Amazon Product Page Optimization, which I haven't talked about anywhere else. This is the first place.
Yay.
Actually on the Kickstarter now. I think it's
Yeah.
like $3.49, where the team will look at your page and determine its health and then give you
Nice.
steps that you could do to improve it, which is like, could be something as simple as rewrite your blurb with primer words. Here's some examples. Here's what you should try to do. Could be something as like your cover is not in alignment with others in your category, but the goal of it would be to improve your Amazon product page and get it ready for mass ads, mass campaign, mass promotion, whichever way. Even Amazon, like AMS ads, those have to be, because if you're just scrolling and seeing the book covers and the titles and that's it, like you have a very short window where, you can get a person to, ooh, what is this? And click it.
Right. Yeah, right.
So yeah, that would be the goal of the Amazon product page optimization.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
That is so neat that
So
you're offering that
people
now
are
too. Because
interested in it. Hope they'll check it out.
well, obviously people are going to be interested in it. I know for many of us, I don't know what it is about authors. Like we love telling our stories and being very wordy about it. But as soon as you have to go into a copywriting mode, we freeze up.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, I know most authors will hate writing a blurb. And it isn't just a blurb. It is like the most important sales copy you will ever write. And
Right.
it's hard. I know why people hate it. I know why people struggle with it. It's like 250 words you have so many jobs. It isn't like you just need to tell the story. You need to, you need to prime your audience. You need to use specific words that like subconsciously trigger different emotions. You need an emotional connection between your main character and the random person that is reading your blurb.
Right.
So
Plus, there's so many different angles you could take when you know your own story that well. It's like you're thinking about the entire thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So narrowing it
while
down.
this is not exactly off topic, we have a blurb clinic, and it is a Kickstarter tier. We have, a very, I don't want to say it's simple, but like an easier way of pulling out your character traits, your plot setting, your goals and motivations into a spreadsheet, and then using that information to write your blurb.
That's cool.
We think it's best if authors write their own blurbs.
Sure.
You could pay a service, but no matter how good the service is and how great people are at writing them, the author knows the story so much better, and the author loves their story. Like they are motivated, to get those. Like a service is only as good as the information you tell them. And if you're telling them the wrong thing, they're going to write the wrong blurb.
Right.
So that's why we tell authors, you need to, like, if you can, get through this process yourself. So at least if you come out the other side and know what information you have to give a service, at least then you're giving them the right things.
Right.
It's super important. And Facebook ads is like one of those things people are like excited about it. They're like, yeah, I want to do Facebook ads. But sometimes you have to take a step back and do the other work first so your Facebook ads can be as profitable as possible.
Oh, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you ever have authors, like if they haven't written the book yet, come up with the blurb first to try to like make it?
I do that.
Yeah. I was going to say, because sometimes I find
most authors come to us after, and it is more complicated because then you're thinking about like all these subplots and all these things that like were all important to you, but maybe they're not all part of the main gist of the story. They're not part of that story that's going to sell the book. But it can be hard to tell authors, well, you got to take all the backstory out of your blurb. And they're like, my blurb was like, no.
But I love my backstories and they're so
But
important.
that's yeah, the civilization of Iconara. Everyone needs to know about that. And yeah, they do, but they get it. They do. They learn about it when they read the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets to be so hard as an author, right?
So hard because our job is like long form, but now it's like now we're asking you to write short form.
Yeah.
And so obviously some blurbs are longer than the others depending on the genre, but usually it's like 250 words. I recommend usually is the sweet spot. Then
That makes
call
sense.
to action at the bottom, like call to action at the bottom, tagline at the top, main blurb in the middle causes sweats, and then you're done.
Breaking out in huge sweats or like going, oh my gosh, I
Right?
must
Yeah,
read this
get the
thing
snack,
now.
have the chocolate, the coffee going, and
Yes.
that's why I find it easier to do it before you've written the book.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
find that as well. Like this far in, it's like for me, if I can write it beforehand, it takes the pressure off. But if I have to write it afterwards, like sometimes you just do, even if you had written it beforehand and now you've like decided your blurb's been out there a while and you want to just mix things up a bit. It's still hard. It's like trying to trying to remember like how do you want to do this thing? So yeah, I
And I
completely
do
understand.
tweak it once the book is done,
Yeah.
but I will use the blurb as sort of like, am I still fulfilling the promise of the blurb?
Yeah.
So it will keep me from going totally off the rails because I like to do that. But like, yeah, like no, I said this is what this story is about. So we need to rein ourselves in a little bit.
Got it. Got it. Okay, so obviously with the Kickstarter that you've got going on, you've got so many amazing things that are happening, so many different ways that authors can level up their business by pledging and supporting to the Kickstarter. But like you've kind of alluded to, you may even mentioned it, but you've got stretch goals that are pretty awesome. Do you want to talk a little bit about what those stretch goals look like? Like what the
Well, the first
actual
one was the
goals?
$10,000 one, which we just hit. That's
Yep.
the Facebook ads creative class.
So cool.
We're going to do, it's not totally like planned out exactly yet. There's going to be one on reels and using reels with ads. So basically short video, and then
Yep.
how do you take those reels and repurpose them on places like TikTok and Instagram. So you can basically continue to grow your audience without having to put a lot of extra work into it.
That's so
And
smart.
I don't know where if we're gonna end up putting that exactly. It depends how the next week goes, where we'll decide if it will end up at the $20,000 stretch goal or if we'll hit it at 15. I don't know yet. So we'll
Gotcha.
see how that goes. And we're gonna plan out a stretch goal that goes past that. I just don't know that. Like, I don't know. Will we get there? I don't know. But if we did, it would be a webinar of some sort that would be
Obviously.
free with Mal.
So cool.
Right. And yeah, we will try to come up with a concept that would be worth that kind of like, oh my God, investment.
Right. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys
So we
do
haven't
such
talked
amazing
about what it
things.
would be yet, but we'll definitely, we'll come up with something good.
Well, you've
So
got a
I'm
couple
taking
of weeks yet.
suggestions. If people want to email me or
Heck
message me
yes.
and say, this would be a great webinar. I'd love to come to this.
Right?
We always take that stuff under consideration. We believe in listening to your audience. Totally
Right.
am open to that.
That is so cool. Okay, so you guys you mentioned that you have run 2 successful Kickstarters in the past. How is this
Yes.
one? Those have been fiction ones. So how has the
Yeah.
nonfiction been different?
It's mostly like, structurally, it's pretty close to the same. But who I have a chance to cross promote with or swap with is different because before
Sure.
it was like I would swap with anyone that wrote a fiction book that was like, genre, fantasy, sci-fi. And that was it. And that was it. I had like a bazillion people to swap with. And now this is nonfiction. It's a little harder because I'm looking
Sure.
for like nonfiction Kickstarters. There aren't that many of them. The audience on Kickstarter isn't as big. So I have made some sacrifice. Like I'd offer like, hey, author, if you'd mention my Kickstarter on your Facebook page, I will mention yours in like one of my genre newsletters.
Yeah.
Because all authors are friends with other authors. So, and that's an easy way at least to, get a mention here or there.
Yeah.
And I would probably say that's probably the biggest change.
That makes
It's
sense.
not like it's not impossible. It's just slightly different.
That makes sense. Was it
Yeah.
just as easy? Well, I say easy, but like from the Kickstarter formatting perspective to build out the tiers in the way that you wanted and everything, did it kind of come together pretty easily that
I
way?
think so. I don't do
Yeah.
any of that. Really?
Ah!
Like I make a list. So like Mal, here's the list. Here's the things. Here's the tiers we need and the things we should have. And then Mal says, okay. And then like a couple days later, Mal's like, here, come look at this page and see what you think. And there's a Kickstarter page. I'm like,
Wicked. I
Right.
love
Mal
that.
makes the graphics, Mal does the structure. Now Kickstarter allows you to include images on your tiers on the right side because before it was just
Cool.
text.
Yep.
And then we've always felt like, for tiers, we need an image for every tier. So it's going to go into like the long copy. But now that they're letting us put images, I think on the side, I think it's a little easier. Because even when I would go to a page, I love Kickstarters. I've backed about 46 of them.
Wow.
I'd get stressed out and overwhelmed just trying to read each tier. So the
Right.
pictures in the middle always work. But now that the pictures are on the right side, it's going to be like so much easier just to be like visually pick, oh, that's the one I want, and then go for it.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it is a lot of work putting a Kickstarter together. If authors are thinking about it, just, first one, just pace yourself. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to put it together.
Right.
It's a lot of information on one page. And the more
Right.
images you can put, the better.
Right. Right. I talked to Martha Carr about hers that will be coming up soon, and she said the same thing, like
I'm
just go
following
slow.
hers. Yeah, I'm ready for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. So speaking of other advice for authors for if they're interested in doing Kickstarter, other than kind of pacing yourself and maybe starting a little bit smaller with the first Kickstarter, do you have any other advice for authors who might want to launch a new book or to start a new pen name using the Kickstarter?
I would research on Kickstarter. Just go in and type in sci-fi or romance and look for successful campaigns and see what they did. And then start to come up with like a plan on what you can do. Like, do it
Smart.
reasonably. Don't do anything that you think is going to cost too much. And if you don't like shipping things, you don't like ordering things and then boxing them up, go light. Just
Yeah,
do
right.
books and a keychain. Like, yeah, our last Kickstarter, like our basement is still covered in canvas prints and posters and so
I
many
saw those
books.
pictures. That
Yeah,
was
I
a
mean, it
lot
looks
of
a lot
stuff.
better. We're actually doing like the last couple boxes right now, and then we're going to get to
Hey,
clean up. That's great.
and start all over again.
Yeah, right. So plan and also know you're going to need images. But also think about like the reader's journey. Like if you write a fantasy novel, you can craft a map now and print it
So
and
cool.
get them to, so maybe they'll buy it and then you get to mail these cool things off that sort of add to the reader's journey. Things like, fantasy is huge on Kickstarter, like gamers, like there are so many people there. So it would be a really great market to tap into. Another thing you want to think about is that running a Kickstarter is a lot of work. It is a full-time job if you want to go big and if or like you want to generate a good income. So don't plan to be writing a book or editing a
Right.
book or launching another book during like your Kickstarter window
Yeah.
and have a reasonable goal. Don't list it as like, oh, I want to make $5,000. Put your goal at 500 and see where it goes after that. So
Right.
then even if you make $500, you'll get the money because Kickstarter it has to be 100% funded or you don't get anything. So even if you
Yep.
had like a $5,000 goal and like you got 3,000, you don't get, that's not, it's just considered a failed Kickstarter. And I don't like
Right.
the word failed. I don't know about you. I rather
Nope.
lower my goals and then like, okay, we've hit it. Now let's see what we can do. And then
Yeah.
it sort of lowers the pressure on yourself and
Agreed.
just
Yeah.
add it so you don't have to worry about writing a new book and hitting that daily word count while you're doing this. It's basically like the biggest launch you've ever done with a start and an end date.
Right.
Mal usually says we launch a book, right? It's like, okay, the book is launched and now like, is it over? It's like the second week, the book was out last week. Are we still doing things to promote the book? I don't think we are we? Like,
Right.
like, but
Right.
this is like, oh, okay, I got, you can pick how many days it's going to go. We picked 20 for some reason. Last time I was like, I'm never doing 20 again. But now I'm like, Mal's like, how many days do you want? I'm like, 20. But anyway, right? Like, so you're getting to that 20-day. You're like, how can I push it a little bit more? Can I
Right.
think of anything a new tier I could add? And don't launch with all of your best tiers right at the beginning. Wait till you hit that slump period that we're currently heading
Right.
into. Just being like, oh, I got like a new short novella, like travel guide about this small town and all the like bakeries with recipes and stuff that you can get it for like an additional like $5, let's say.
Right.
And launch that out to your backers, to your newsletter, to your friends' newsletters, like, and you just see what happens and just have fun with it. Cause I think it's a great opportunity to also connect with readers and potential readers to see like what are they getting excited about?
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's just a great platform, I think, to just try new things.
I agree. There's so many authors who are obviously we were talking about it all over Vegas last year, and it seems to be like this cool opportunity to do something fun for our readers where
Yeah,
we kind of got into that realm of like launching so fast that you almost forget that you wrote a book because you're like on to the
right.
next one, where this is more of like, let's celebrate this thing. We did this huge
Yeah,
fun thing and let's do it together. And it feels like such a departure from times past, but also fun, like it kind of a breath of fresh air that way.
it
Yeah.
is fun. And I think as authors, we like creating the cool keychains and things, but then it's like,
Yeah.
well, then I have 200 keychains and I got rid of two. Like, what am I going to do? Like, so then you
Yeah.
get discouraged and you never do keychains again. And then, but now it's like you can make like fun projects. The one I'm most excited, like I backed a project called Fat Witch something or other. I can't remember the full title. It's like one book and she got $23,000. And then I was like
Wow.
curious, what did she do? How did she
Yeah.
like, one book doesn't usually make that much.
Right.
And she had an amazing campaign with different, like, new like novellas and a short story with pumpkin recipes in it and a keychain and a travel map and a travel guide, like all these cute things. And I figured people are just really excited about this cozy witch mystery. And so, but those genres, you can definitely like cozies, small town, even though they're not big on Kickstarter, yet they're getting bigger like every month. And you can just have fun with it. Let your mind just go crazy. And you finally have a way to like see if readers are gonna like respond. And in most cases that I'm seeing, they're responding really favorably.
That is
So
too
everyone likes
cool.
getting that package in the mail, right? With that special stuff.
Obviously. Heck yes.
Right? I can't wait to get my package. I'm excited.
No doubt. And it's always like a kind of a special surprise too. Like, you back the thing, but all of a sudden you're like, why do I have a box here? I didn't order
I know you
anything.
forget about it. You
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. Okay, so if my listeners are ready to learn more about your Kickstarter, to be able to back it, or just want to learn more about you and Mallory, where should they go?
Well, there's a Kickstarter URL, but it's kind of long. So I guess if you went to Kickstarter, you could probably type in Facebook ads or Mallory Cooper or suck or help.
Well, you might get some
Or you
like
could
suck ones, like probably don't want to start there.
yeah, you probably don't want to start there, but Facebook probably is a good one. Or you could, if
Yeah.
you know me on Facebook, I have the link in my banner. You go to thewritingwives.com to learn more about me and Mal. And I guess I should probably put the Kickstarter on that page because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Do a little
Yeah.
pop-up that says, hey, want to fund our Kickstarter
Yes,
or
I
want to
will
keep
do
pledge?
that.
There we go, pledge, because you've already been funded.
I will have to add the link to our
Yeah.
website after we wrap here. And by the time this goes live, it will be there.
Sweet, sweet. And I will also make sure it's in the show notes too, in case anyone wants to get it there as well.
Awesome.
So obviously make it easy for people. Oh my goodness.
That's the name of the game for me.
Right? Me too. That's been my name of the game for the past like 2 years, I think. Bring more
Yeah.
ease into our author careers. We need that.
Right. I want my checklist is like, is it easy?
Yeah.
Is it actual work? Because then I'm not happy. And is it fun?
Yes.
I always say, if it's not fun, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Yes, I'm right.
I mean,
there
there's obviously I do laundry and I don't really think that is fun. But there's like a few small things in there you just gotta do. But
I like clean underwear.
In terms of career,
nice.
No, it's like, you know what? If I don't
Yeah.
enjoy doing it, I'm just not gonna do it.
Same.
Life's too short to hate your career. So
right. And this is a long game for us authors. We want to do this for a long time. Why do something that does not feel like joy?
Right. Yeah. Mal and I are working, obviously Aeon 14, her sci-fi universe has been around now a long time. And we're always looking for new ways to increase income off of backlist, to find new ways to pull in new audiences to go through the backlist. So we, don't need to write a lot of books. But she's getting ready to release her first book new book in 2 years.
Wow.
It'll be out in May. Yeah, I'm very excited.
Right? That is so cool. Oh my goodness.
All things are possible.
Absolutely. And it includes like taking some time to just do the things that are fun and enjoy your process. Yeah.
That's right. Don't resist. If you feel like you're pulled in a direction, sometimes it's best just to go take a look.
Yeah. Just enjoy the process.
Right? No strings attached. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jill, thank you so much for coming on to the Author Revolution podcast, talking about your Kickstarter and all that you do. You guys are amazing. I mean, truly.
Oh, I've enjoyed talking to you. I love talking to you.
I love talking to you too. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Hope your audience enjoys.
I have no doubt they will. Now, I'm telling you, after that conversation with Jill, I had to go in and add those primer words thing to my Kickstarter pledge, right? I did not do the mug, but I'm seriously considering still doing the mug, but I did end up doing the primer words in the poster format because I'm just like, that is such a cool thing to do, right? Now, hopefully, after hearing Jill talk about her Kickstarter campaign with Mal and all the ways that they are getting readers engaged, getting their fans engaged in the Kickstarter, hopefully it's gotten your wheels turning a little bit. I know it definitely has done that for myself. And I've talked to a number of people this year. Some of the podcast interviews haven't quite launched yet. Some of them are going to be launching very soon. But we're talking about Kickstarter in new ways, which is, it's repeating over and over. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you know this about me, but I like patterns. And whenever patterns start to play around me, I take more notice. And maybe it's the law of attraction in me. Maybe it is my manifestor antenna going up, but I just see this thing happening over and over. And I think authors could really take advantage, especially if maybe they're not, publishing as fast as some people, or they're looking for a fun new way to interact with their readers that makes it like a huge event or just some fun, quirky little thing where you get to offer your readers some cool, fun things. And, so many of us have done this authorship for such a long time that it feels almost like a slog at times. Now, I don't say that to like in a bad way at all. I'm just meaning like sometimes it just feels kind of monotonous. And this is such a great way to be able to, get things moving in a fun direction and have more enjoyment in the process of it, and just know that you can enjoy like the people who are participating and the way that you get to influence and interact with them. Plus, as Jill, I think, mentioned in the podcast episode, when you use Kickstarter as your launching point and people are coming into your Kickstarter campaign and pledging, now you've got their emails and you can interact with them. And so this is a really good way to just build and have a springboard starting point for like a new pen name, for instance. And believe you me, I think I have tipped over the edge, and I'm definitely doing a Kickstarter for my new rom-com pen name when I launch next year. But all things aside, Jill and Mal are onto something, and many other authors are doing this as well. So stay tuned. There's going to be plenty of episodes where we're talking about Kickstarters and we're talking about like how amazing of an opportunity it is for authors. And maybe we have Brandon Sanderson, to blame or to thank, I guess, about this whole thing, because he really brought it to the limelight for authors and made it something that's accessible and that people really think about now. But overall, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you are going to check out Mal and Jill's Kickstarter while it's still running, because there's some amazing tiers that you can get in on, some amazing bonuses that you can get in on, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're looking for the links really fast, you can head over to authorrevolution.org/178 to get all of the links and even download the transcript right there. In the meantime, like I said, I hope you go over to the Kickstarter campaign. I hope you do pledge and just start thinking, get your wheels turning about how you can utilize Kickstarter for your next launch. Because I have a feeling there's a few of us out there that could really do a good job getting our audience engaged and having a fun time doing it. All right? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. Go forth and start your author revolution.